Listen carefully, because this message might be exactly what you need to hear. Maybe right now, you feel behind. Maybe you open social media, and suddenly, you feel like everybody is winning except you. Someone your age is rich. Someone else built a business. Someone else looks disciplined, focused, successful. And there you are, still trying to figure life out. Still trying to stay consistent. Still trying to become someone you're proud of. And slowly, without even noticing, comparison starts poisoning your mind. You stop moving. You stop creating. You stop trying. Because deep down, you start believing a dangerous lie. I'm too late. But hear me carefully. That thought, it is destroying your productivity. Not because you are lazy, not because you are weak, but because you are comparing your day 1 to somebody else's year 10. And if you stay with me until the end, you're going to understand something most people never realize. The reason you feel stuck might have nothing to do with discipline, and everything to do with what you keep feeding your mind. Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about how comparison quietly destroys ambition. At first, it feels harmless. You scroll, you watch, you compare. Then suddenly, you feel smaller. You start questioning yourself. Why am I not there yet? Why am I still struggling? What am I doing wrong? And what hurts the most? You stop appreciating your own progress. Because now, nothing feels enough. You worked hard? Not enough. You improved? Still not enough. You made progress? Still feels small. Why? Because somebody online looks farther ahead. But what you forget is this. You are watching someone's highlight reel, while living inside your behind the scenes. You see success. You don't see struggle. You see confidence. You don't see insecurity. You see results. You don't see the years of failure. And that comparison? It slowly steals your energy, your focus, your momentum, your belief. Imagine this. A man walks into a gym for the first time. Nervous, weak, unsure. Then he looks across the room and sees someone stronger, more disciplined, more experienced. And instead of getting inspired, he feels defeated. So he quits. But what he never asked was, how long did that person suffer to become that strong? How many failures? How many early mornings? How many days they wanted to quit? That person did not start there. They earned it. And this is exactly what people do in life. They compare their beginning to somebody else's middle or ending, then wonder why motivation disappears. Of course, productivity dies, because comparison makes effort feel pointless. But what if you're actually doing better than you think? What if the only thing slowing you down is the belief that you're behind? And here's the dangerous part. There is one habit quietly destroying your productivity every single day. Most people never notice it, and it keeps them stuck for years. We'll get to that next, because once you see it, you'll never think the same way again. Stop comparing. Start building. Here is the habit. The thing silently destroying your focus, your confidence, your discipline, constant comparison. And the worst part? Most people do it every single day without realizing it. You wake up, pick up your phone, and before your brain even wakes up, you start consuming everybody else's success. Luxury, money, results, perfect bodies, perfect lives, perfect routines, perfect success stories. And suddenly, your normal life feels disappointing. Your progress feels invisible. Your goals feel impossible. So what happens? You procrastinate. You delay. You overthink. You stop creating. Because comparison creates something dangerous. Emotional exhaustion. You feel tired before you even start. Not physically, mentally. Because your brain is carrying pressure that was never yours to carry. Listen carefully. You were not meant to compete with everyone. You were meant to compete with who you were yesterday. That's it. But social media changed the game. Now people compare themselves to strangers, to edited lives, to fake timelines, to people they've never even met. And slowly, they lose themselves. Let me ask you something. How can you focus on building your future when your attention is trapped inside somebody else's success? You can't. And that is exactly why productivity disappears. Here is the habit, the thing silently destroying your focus, your confidence, your discipline, constant comparison. And the worst part? Most people do it every single day without realizing it. You wake up, pick up your phone, and before your brain even wakes up, you start consuming everybody else's success. Luxury, money, results, perfect bodies, perfect lives, perfect routines, perfect success stories. And suddenly, your normal life feels disappointing. Your progress feels invisible. Your goals feel impossible. So what happens? You procrastinate. You delay. You overthink. You stop creating. Because comparison creates something dangerous. Emotional exhaustion. You feel tired before you even start. Not physically, mentally. Because your brain is carrying pressure that was never yours to carry. Listen carefully. You were not meant to compete with everyone. You were meant to compete with who you were yesterday. That's it. But social media changed the game. Now people compare themselves to strangers, to edited lives, to fake timelines, to people they've never even met. And slowly, they lose themselves. Let me ask you something. How can you focus on building your future when your attention is trapped inside somebody else's success? You can't. And that is exactly why productivity disappears. Nobody tells you this, but social media is dangerous if you don't control it, because it makes ordinary progress feel invisible. You upload one video. Someone else has 1 million subscribers. You save $100. Someone else buys a luxury car. You start learning. Someone else already mastered the skill. And suddenly, you feel late. But let me tell you the truth. A truth most people refuse to accept. You are seeing year 10 without seeing day 1. You see success, but not the suffering. You see confidence, but not insecurity. You see the result, but not the sacrifice. You never saw the sleepless nights, the failures, the rejection, the embarrassment, the moments they wanted to quit. You skip the painful chapters and judge yourself for not being at the ending yet. That makes no sense. Imagine planting a seed today, then getting angry tomorrow because it hasn't become a tree. Sounds ridiculous, right? But people do this with life every single day. They start, wait a few weeks, maybe a few months, then panic, then quit, because somebody else looks farther ahead. Listen carefully. Growth is slow. Success is slow. Discipline is slow. Transformation is slow. And that's exactly why most people fail, because they want fast proof. But real growth happens quietly, in silence, in repetition, in days that feel boring, in moments nobody claps for. That is where success is built, not in motivation, not in excitement, but in consistency. Let me tell you a story. Two people start the same journey, same dream, same goal, same excitement. The first person? They compare constantly, every day, watching everybody else, checking numbers, checking progress, checking what others have. And slowly, their confidence dies, because no matter what they do, it never feels enough. So eventually, they stop, not because they lack talent, because comparison destroyed belief. The second person? Different mindset. They stop watching everybody else. They focus, quietly, patiently. They understand something powerful. Progress is personal. They stop chasing perfection and start chasing improvement. One step, one habit, one day at a time. And years later, their life changes. Not overnight, but little by little. And here's the question. Which person are you becoming? Because every single day, you are making that decision without realizing it. But there's something even more dangerous than comparison. Something destroying productivity faster than laziness ever could. And if you don't fix it, you'll stay stuck, no matter how motivated you feel. We'll talk about that next. Here is the truth, the uncomfortable truth. You are not lazy. You are mentally overwhelmed. There's a difference. Because when you spend every day comparing yourself to people ahead of you, your brain starts believing something dangerous. I'll never catch up. And when people believe they can't win, they stop trying. Slowly, quietly, without even noticing. You say, I'll start tomorrow. Then tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And suddenly, another year is gone. Still dreaming, still planning, still watching other people live the life you wanted. But hear me carefully. You do not need 10 years of success today. You only need to win today. That's it. One day, one step, one improvement. Because success is not built in giant moments. Success is built in ordinary days. The days nobody posts, nobody celebrates, nobody notices. That workout, that video upload, that one skill practiced, that boring repetition. That's where everything changes. But people quit because boring feels invisible. And invisible progress feels frustrating until one day it suddenly becomes visible and everyone calls it luck. No, it was consistency. Let me explain something powerful. Productivity is not just about discipline. It's emotional. Think about it. When you feel hopeful, you work harder. When you believe progress matters, you stay consistent. But when comparison enters your mind, energy disappears. Why work hard? If somebody already seems ahead, why try? If success feels impossible? And this is how comparison destroys dreams. Not instantly. Slowly. Like poison. You stop posting. Stop building. Stop improving. Stop showing up. Not because you can't. Because you stop believing effort matters. Listen carefully. The biggest mistake people make? They think productivity comes first. No. Belief comes first. Because when people believe change is possible, they move. And when they move, confidence grows. Momentum grows. Results grow. But first, you must stop feeding your mind negativity. You cannot grow while constantly reminding yourself how far behind you feel. But there's something dangerous almost nobody talks about. A hidden trap that makes smart, talented people waste years of their life. And once you hear this, you may never compare yourself the same way again. This might hurt, but you need to hear it. Sometimes, comparison turns into perfectionism, and perfectionism looks productive. But secretly, it's procrastination. You overthink, overplan, overanalyze, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect idea, the perfect timing. But perfection doesn't exist. And while you wait, life moves. Other people improve. Not because they're better, because they started messy, imperfect, embarrassed, bad at first. Do you think successful people started confident? No. They looked stupid, failed, made mistakes, got ignored. But they kept moving, and that is why they won. The truth? Your first videos will probably be bad. Your first business idea might fail. Your first attempt might disappoint you. Good. That means you're learning. You cannot skip the ugly beginning. Nobody can. So stop expecting mastery at the starting line. Imagine something. Imagine if you stopped comparing today completely. No more measuring your beginning against someone else's finish line. What would happen? You'd finally focus, finally build, finally improve, without pressure, without shame, without feeling late. And 1 year from now, your life could look completely different, but only if you stop watching and start working. Because the truth is, you are not behind. You are just distracted. Distracted by people who are not even running your race. So listen carefully. Stop comparing your day 1 to somebody else's year 10, because their timeline is not yours. Their journey is not yours. Your only competition is who you were yesterday. That's it. Improve a little, learn a little, build a little, every single day. And one day, the same people you compare yourself to will wonder how you changed so much. But they won't see the struggle, the discipline, the invisible days. Only you will know. And remember this. The moment you stop comparing is the moment productivity returns. Now go build. Quietly, consistently, patiently. Your time is coming. If this message changed your mindset, subscribe, because this channel is for people building themselves, one day at a time.